And I would say with Claressa the Goat Shields, man, it was a stellar performance put on by Claressa Shields. It's very fitting that the Savannah Marshall ended up being her most difficult fight to date. And it was what Claressa Shields needed to kind of also silence a lot of Claressa Shields doubters. Because the honest truth is, when you're a fighter who's dominated like Claressa Shields has, at some point in your career, you need one or two fighters that could really challenge you, at least make it a little bit difficult, at least in spots of the fight, so that you could prove your greatness. Because sometimes it can be difficult to prove your greatness when you're just blasting through people and it's just so easy that nobody ever wins a round against you, right? So sometimes you need a little bit of a challenge so that you can prove to the world that you are that great. And I think that Claressa Shields proved that hands down, no question, that she absolutely is the top female in the sport of boxing. And right now, there's not many that can stand up to Claressa Shields. Now, I will say, I do got to tip my cap to Savannah Marshall, bro, because, man, while she did not knock Claressa Shields down, that girl is rough and rugged, boy. She is rough.
I was scared Claressa was on the ropes, man. She was on the ropes
Hey,
too.
man. Hey, she is rough and rugged as they come. And I got to salute any fighter that continues to keep pressing forward, even after they're getting hit with hellacious shots. They continue to keep moving forward and letting their hands go. And I will say, shout out to Claressa and Savannah, because that's what we as fans expect and what we want to see in super fights. Sometimes every now and then we get a super fight and it doesn't live up to all the hype and all the animosity that we saw between the fighters. But that was a fight that I promise that if you probably go back and rewatch that fight, it's just as entertaining. If you got ESPN Plus and you go rewind that in your spare time and watch that fight, you'll probably be amazed at those two ladies all over again. Now, the last thing I will say right quick, man, and I'll throw it back to you, bruh. I will say this, though. I will say this, and this is to all the powers that be in the sport of boxing that have say-so on the bylaws of how women's title fights go down. All right. I believe that if you are not going to do 3-minute rounds for the ladies,
12 rounds.
We need 12 rounds.
Right.
If you're not going to do 3-minute rounds, you have got to give the fans 2 more rounds. That's just 4 minutes more. That's just 4 minutes more of boxing. You've got to give that to the fans, because in that fight that we were watching, it felt like there was a little bit more to be had. It was a great fight. Right. It was an excellent fight, but because it's 2-minute rounds and they go by so quickly, and then it's only a 10-round fight and it's a title fight, I think they got to change that rule. Whoever the powers to be, I'm sure a lot of the women's fighters are on board with it, but we absolutely need 12-round women's fights when it comes to championship bouts, man. Well, what would you think on that, bro?
I agree, man. I agree. Why not? I mean, like I said, it's on a 20-minute fight. This is a unification bout, man. This
exactly
is thing, man. All the marbles. 2 more rounds won't hurt nothing. If, like I say, especially if you're not, unless maybe if you're gonna do 3-minute rounds, then you stay tense. Right. I mean, but if you're only gonna keep it that way, and that'll be a shorter period. I mean, if there was 4 more minutes as opposed to
opposed
to 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm on board 100%, man. What I will say, what I did when I watched a little bit of the replay, the highlights or whatever. When it was announcing the you could tell Claressa really felt like she got jerked in the amateurs. And if you watch her, I don't know if you paid attention, but when the announcer about to announce the score, she started to look back at him.
Look back. I didn't see that.
I grilled them a little bit, man. I'm glad they got it right. I'm telling you, bro.
She was about to steal off on somebody, boy. It would have been ugly. It would have been ugly in that ring.
She put that work in. She put that pain in, bro. On God.
Hey, man, and salute too to Claressa Shields on her come out giving us a
Oh
little
man,
bit of
I was scared.
dancing. You
I
know what
was
I mean?
scared,
She,
bro.
she, she
I was
gave us a
scared.
little bit of choreographed moves and all
Yeah,
that. You know what I mean?
Apollo
Coming
Creed,
coming to the ring with the Apollo
American.
Creed outfit on.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. So
God, cause
yeah,
bro,
so
listen,
salute to her.
I always think about when I see that. I always think about my man. What my man St. Louis, bro. He was a junior middleweight. Corey Spinks
Binks,
versus Zab Judah. He came out there and did all that. Oh boy, he came out and did the most. He came out, I think, to Nelly and just went crazy. And Zab Judah, boy, punished him. I mean, it was horrible. And so I didn't even feel like, I feel like the GOAT was gonna slip like that. But
right.
it was just like I always feel a certain way. I'm like, say that energy, man. Don't do that.